What's going on, everybody? It's Jay here from Nerd Takes, and today I want to give you my take on The Penguin Episode 3. First things first, just like all the other Penguin reviews, if you are watching this video, I am going to assume that you've already watched the episode, and therefore there will be spoilers. So I just want to put that out there now. There's definitely spoilers in this review, and with that out of the way, let's get into this. Now, this episode was another example of some good balance in storytelling where, much like the last episode we got, there's some background and continued development of a different character of the series. In this case, it was Victor, while also keeping the main story moving along with Oz and Sophia. And again, much like last week's episode with Sophia, this week's focus on Victor was well done in both writing and in acting. The episode starts with a flashback to Victor's experience during the events of the Batman movie when Riddler's plan to flood Gotham takes effect. We see a bit of Victor's home life, which seems to be a good one in terms of the family dynamic. However, much like most teenagers or early 20-year-olds, I'm not exactly sure how old Victor is in this series, he dreams of a better life not only for him, but for his family as well. Then tragedy strikes and Victor loses his family in the events of the Batman movie and the Riddler's plot. Now, I like this scene because it showed a bit more of what I felt like they were going with for Victor's character this whole time, which is that at his core, he's a good kid. He doesn't seem like a life of crime was ever really his goal. But tragedy struck and it has him lost in a world of chaos. So now it's about survival. And that then brings options and actions that he likely wouldn't have considered before into the realm of possibility for him, which helps explain exactly how he kind of quickly goes from just trying to steal some rims from Oz to doing some of the things he's already done for him. After this, we see some more of the story and plan develop with Oz and Sophia. She finally fills him in on what the secret substance is that she and her brother were basing their plan around. And it turns out that it ends up being something that they were using at Arkham on their patients. Then we see Victor meet up with a girl from the flashback at the beginning of the episode who also survived the events of the Batman movie. It's pretty clear that they both have some kind of interest in each other. Her plan is to leave Gotham, and she then invites Victor to go with her. He really wants to, but he knows Oz won't like the idea of it, so this then creates the dilemma that he's going to deal with for the remainder of the episode. Oz and Sophia continue to work their plan, which at this point has them asking for the help of another crew to move their substance without the Falcone family knowing about it. Then we get another scene with Victor that I liked where a cop is giving him a hard time and he very quickly thinks to use the money that he has on him to bribe him. And what I liked about it was we were starting to see a side of Victor that's developing a sense for the world that he's in. You can tell that even though he's debating leaving to be with the girl that he likes, he's also starting to feel comfortable in what he's doing, which we see a little bit more of in the following scene where he and Oz are out at lunch and he's very proud telling Oz the story of what had just happened with the cop. This scene actually stood out as one of my favorites of the episode for a few reasons. So, after Victor tells Oz the story and Oz congratulates him, the waiter then comes over to take their order. Victor struggles to get his order out because of his speech issue, and then the waiter says the word that Victor's struggling with in an attempt to help him. Immediately, Oz snaps at the waiter and tells him not to do that and to let Victor finish speaking. Victor does, then when the waiter leaves, he says to Oz that he didn't need to do that, to which Oz replies that he should have done it himself. And what I really liked here was that very quickly within these two happenings, they're really developing this father figure scenario that's going on between Oz and Victor. And what I mean by that is in the beginning of the scene, we have Victor obviously very excited to tell Oz about his interaction with the cop, and Oz is very proud of him for it, much like a scenario you would see in a lot of healthy father son relationships, where the father's very proud of an accomplishment of the son. And then right after that, we see Oz giving Victor a lesson on not letting people take pity on you for things that are out of your control, but instead to embrace them and to make others embrace them too. And then the whole thing is followed up with Oz and Victor having a very heartfelt conversation about Victor's family and mainly his father, which goes on to show how much Oz actually cares about Victor and doesn't just view him as an employee. After this, the story continues with Oz and Sophia. Their plan is working pretty much exactly how Oz drew it up to this point. They're using some blackmail to get Johnny Vitti to cooperate. He then starts trying to create some tension between the two of them, which seemingly starts to work a little bit. The way it all plays out is pretty clever and well written, and we get to see some more great acting and chemistry from Colin Farrell and Kristen Milotti. Then we jump ahead to pretty much where the rest of the episode takes place, which is at the club of the crew Oz and Sophia are trying to convince to help them. They're basically there to demonstrate their substance, and Sophia gives some more insight into exactly what it is and how it works. During all this, Victor's still struggling with the idea of how exactly he wants to tell Oz that he's going to leave with the girl that he likes. Then he has some flashbacks to the night Gotham got flooded. He goes into the bathroom to wash his face when Penguin meets him there to celebrate the successful job that he and Sophia had just had convincing the other crew to help their plan. This is where Oz finds out that Victor has plans to leave, and also where we get another one of my favorite scenes of the episode. As expected, Oz doesn't take well to this news and he loses it on Victor. And what I liked about this scene was, again, it shows off a little bit of the father figure dynamic that they're going for. Because as much as Oz's tirade sounds like it's from the boss's perspective, you can tell from the emotional nature of it that it comes from being hurt because of how he views Victor as something of a son, or at the very least, somebody that he is the guardian of, so to speak. He sees a lot of himself in Victor, especially his younger self, and he wants to help him get the better life that he sees. But he's also hurt by what he assumes is Victor's view of him, which is that he's keeping Victor there by threat. It's just a well acted, well written, and intense scene, and it's right on par with the consistent quality we've gotten from the rest of the series so far. The episode closes with Victor driving off to meet the girl. Oz and Sophia are having a chat about the past between them that Johnny Vitti dug up. As soon as they settle that conversation, Maroni's wife shows up with her men. They surround the two of them and threaten Oz. Then Victor shows up as he chose not to go with the girl. He uses his vehicle to try to help get the two of them out of trouble. Oz specifically says to leave Sophia behind. The two of them take off, and the episode closes on a very intense note. And again, for the third episode in a row, I have to say that to this point, the show is good and I recommend it. So far to me, this series is doing everything that you'd want it to. It's telling a good story, it's full of high quality acting and writing in every episode. The look and the feel of the show is gritty and engaging, and by the time an episode ends, you just want more of it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll be back again with another review soon.